following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And things are about to get back on track for your Dallas Cowboys because Mick Shots is back on track on this Tuesday as I see that Mickey Spagnola Everson is back inside the SWBC Mortgage Studios at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. He's been out of there for a couple of weeks. And Everson, what have the Cowboys done the last couple of weeks?
They have been blown out embarrassingly.
That's right. I think we figured out what the problem is, so we decided,
that is
Mickey,
the common denominator right there.
That's right. Mickey, get out of your home office. It's time to go back to work. And Mickey is back to work. Aren't you, Mickey?
And it's good to be here, by the way. It took me a little while to kind of reorient myself. Like when I walked in the building, it was like, oh, I need my badge. I haven't worn a badge for 2 weeks, right?
and mask, right?
And then I had to figure out where it was. But all's good, and we're ready to roll here in our SWBC Mortgage Studio.
That's right. It's taken a while for the Cowboys to reorient themselves as well here the last couple of weeks, but maybe they can get it back on track against the first place Philadelphia Eagles, as first place is on the line for the Cowboys by Sunday night. Mickey, that's where we left yesterday after 45 minutes of ranting and raving, and the way we ended the show on Monday was, hey, they're playing for first place. So here we are.
Yes, always.
Only a half game out.
Hey, I don't know if you guys realize, but Chris is armed to the teeth with his mask on. Are you afraid because Spags is there? That's the only difference.
See,
Spags is a carrier.
In case he had to walk in here, you know.
We should let our viewers and listeners know who cannot see Chris Beam that Everson has a closed circuit video feed of the control room where he can see our producer Chris Beam with a mask on. And I suspect it's probably a good idea once Mickey got back on the premises.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's right.
Blame it on me.
All right, Mickey.
Yes.
Mickey, Jerry's making some noise this morning. There's some headlines from coast to coast. Jerry was on the radio this morning.
And I think you guys better adhere to what he said when I'm talking, because I don't want to have to tell you to shut up and let me answer, okay?
Somebody's fired up over at the Star. Somebody's fired up.
I about fell off my chair listening to that this morning. And then the way he finished it was absolutely hilarious, because, you know, Jerry, it's like he goes, if I was a little bit abrupt there, meaning how he when they kind of cut him off, and he was like, no, I hadn't finished answering my question, right? And he said that at the end. He goes, I hate to start the day like that. He goes, so we're gonna have a good day. There'll be better days. And he goes, and then there's that old adage. He goes, don't piss off an old man with a little bit of money.
That's what I said. Oh my God. Hey, I'm glad Jerry's fired up. I really am. I mean, don't apologize. You know, sometimes we can't all have this decorum in the midst of this depression that we're under right now. I'm sorry. If the man wants to go off and somebody cuts him off, and this is up Jerry Jones, damn it. Don't just shut up till I finish. I don't care if I filibuster. Shut the hell up till I'm finished. Sometimes you just gotta feel like that, man. Maybe a change of attitude around there at the start.
I think Jerry's probably just heard Mickey's reports on that radio station, and he's heard Mickey say the same thing. Don't piss off an old man, but Mickey leaves out the money part.
Don't piss off an old man with money. Very little money.
A lot of money, that's right.
So other than that, what do you make of what Jerry had to say on the radio this morning?
Well, he certainly backed up Mike McCarthy. Let's go there first. And then he kind of went through different things. It's like people in our business, they have this book of questions. And one of the chapters is excuses for losing, right? Because it's never you're just not good enough. It's either there's not enough effort, there's no leadership. Those are the two prime excuses for losing. It seems like, and those were the ones that he had to kind of filter through this morning. Are you frustrated? Well, hell yes, he's frustrated. There ain't nobody in this building here on the other side that's not frustrated with a 2-5 record. When you thought that, after going 8-8, it's like, okay, we're going to get over the hump because we're bringing in a new staff. Well, they forgot to tell them the new staff was coming in with a new pandemic, right? And things that weren't going to be normal this year. And so far for the Cowboys, they haven't been normal. But I like the fact that he pointed out, number one, when they asked about the offense, he pointed out once again that 40% of their salary cap is on injured reserve right now. And that includes almost the entire offensive line, save Connor Williams. So it's really hard when you are sitting here and you are starting the backup to the Pro Bowl offensive tackle. And nothing against Brandon Knight. I thought his effort has always been good. But he wasn't in the mix to maybe even make the team, let alone have to start as many games as he did. So Jerry pointed that out, and then he went to the root of the evil that we've been talking about and I've been harping on, but the defense has to play better. The run defense has to play better. You guys, I needed to remind myself. I remember the 307 they gave up. And then I went and looked, and I wrote down from my memory 281 and then 208. And I go, is that right? Do I need to double check? That's how many rushing yards they've given up in 3 of the last 4 games? Well, it's absolutely right. And Jerry pointed out that they have to fix the run defense. And I like the way he said it. He said, we got to correct this, and we'll change some personnel for sure. And that's one of the things that has to happen up front. We've been harping on that. No one will criticize Dontari Poe, but that can't continue. 3 straight games and zeroed out on the stat sheet. Just can't continue when you're playing nearly half the snaps. So what do? I don't know what they do there, but at least we saw a little bit of a heartbeat from Everson Griffin this last game. So maybe he's your right defensive end. Maybe you move Aldon Smith into the 3 technique now that you don't have Tristan Hill. And then you've got Randy Gregory coming on to help out at the at the right defensive end spot. So maybe that's a change they make. I don't know, but they can't keep going the way they're going with that defensive tackle position and think things are going to change.
Yeah, the problem there is, Mickey, as you know, is that they've got to rotate guys in there, and they started off this game with a rotation. They had. To start off against Washington, they had Dontari Poe at the 1 technique and Neville Gallimore at the 3 technique.
Right.
And then in their next rotation, they would bring in a combination of Justin Hamilton was coming in when they went into that 5-man front, and then they had Antoine Woods, who I have always thought is active, and you're never going to lose anything with Antoine Woods in there as far as how hard he plays. And so I always like it when I see Antoine Woods in there for that reason. But one of the issues is I can see like Aldon Smith moving inside when it's a pass rush situation. that's great, But Alden he still seems more like a 3-4 outside linebacker than a 4-3 in. And that goes right to the fact that he doesn't like to get down in a 3-point stance to begin with playing defensive end. He's in a 2-point stance, while Everson Griffin is more of a 4-3 defensive end. So I like where you're going there, maybe with Everson Griffin and DeMarcus Lawrence as your 4-3 defensive ends with Neville Gallimore and Antoine Woods inside. And then you rotate from there. And in passing downs, you move Alden Smith, or Everson Griffin can rush from inside too. I mean, there's combinations that they can come up with, but and I agree with you wholeheartedly on Poe, but there's also some issues that they have at the defensive end position as far as being able to, and linebacker as far as stopping the run, and safety. I mean, it's a team effort.
No, it has been. It's not just one person, but again, we're 7 games in. I don't want to hear any more about gap control. How hard is that to sink in? That's my gap, right? Now, do you have the ability to gap control? That's the other thing. Last year the criticism on this defense was they were so aggressive shooting up the field. They were shooting up the field and the running backs were going the other way, right past them. Well, now they're not shooting up the field, and you know what? The running backs are still going right past them.
I tell you what, I saw a good defense last night. I saw 2 good defenses last night. And I kept trying to compare the same plays going against the same defense that we were running. You could see that the Rams were trying to stretch the Bears' defense as much as they could. Basically, that's what the Rams do to everyone. That's what they did to us. And yes, they did start chipping off the Bears a little bit, little by little, and eventually the Bears got frustrated and they couldn't stop anybody. Well, the problem that you have with the Cowboys is you look at the Bears, you look at the Cowboys. To me, the difference is just attitude. They were optimistic about every play. When you came up against a running back, if you were a linebacker, you're a DB, once you made contact, if you're a Bears defender, once you made contact with that player, he wasn't going another step further. They made some very good tackles. They were all sure tacklers, and they didn't try to do it by themselves. I'm pretty sure Mike Nolan's telling them every day, guys, we all have to go to the ball. We all have to go to the ball. Well, everyone's not going to the ball as much as you say it. Get off your freaking block. Get to the ball. That's your job as a defense, is to have a gang mentality. The difference to me looks like between what's going on with this defense and what's going on with the defense back in the day. Let's just say Jimmy Johnson's 1990s team. I know it's going way back, but attitude is still attitude. And that's what Jimmy brought to this team. Do you recall the running back that Jimmy Johnson cut right before Christmas? You remember that? His name was Rashard, if I'm not mistaken.
Curvin Richards.
Remember that?
Curvin Richards.
Yep.
Yeah, Richards.
Against the Bears.
I feel sorry for the kid at the time, because he was just really a pawn in Jimmy Johnson's game. And that is to put fear and urgency into every player on that team. I remember talking to Nate Newton, and I believe it was Michael Irvin as well at that time. And all they could talk about, they were kind of giggling about it, but it was a testament to, you don't want to mess with Jimmy Johnson, okay? You don't want to be content right now. Playoffs are coming up. The Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, were still in first place in the division. And Jimmy still felt that he had to make a statement. Now, I'm never much for statements because I think players should be accountable without being subjected to fear. But I have seen it work. And if I was there just a bit with Jimmy, it wasn't there long enough. But yeah, he got my butt on out of there. McCarthy needs to have an attitude in that manner, because he's such at least we see him outwardly, seems like a meek, even-tempered person. Someone on that team needs to be the henchman. If it's not going to be the head coach, you've got to have a coach on that team that's willing to put the hammer down Embarrass some guys, and you've got to be willing to embarrass the guys that make all the money on the team.
Do you want to cut? Who do you want to cut? Who do you want to cut?
Not cut. But definitely put on notice in front of everyone so that we can all stop walking around the locker room like, oh, it ain't me. Must be him. They didn't say anything to me. Well, we're going to eliminate all of that. I'm calling all of y'all out. That's what the coaches need to do.
Well, that's why I like the fact that Jerry said we'll have some personnel changes. So let's see what kind of personnel changes could be coming up. And I don't think he means rotating guys. I don't think he means bringing guys up off the practice squad. I think he means that somebody's butt is going to sit. And if you noticed in this last game, I didn't think Darryl Worley played a snap, and I finally went back and looked. He played one defensive snap.
Goal line. It was goal line defense. It was when Washington was down on the goal line, he came in for
that
one
was
play.
it. So I don't know if that was a response to him blowing the coverage. Now, I'm guessing they're not going to do it to Trayvon Diggs, the rookie. But again, if Chidobe Awuzie is ready to play, somebody in that secondary is going to sit. Because he needs to be on the field. And the same thing happens when Sean Lee's ready to go. You know, enough of these defensive ends standing up as a strong side linebacker. Get Sean Lee out there and get him to be vocal with this team the way he's normally been and a leader on that field, by the way.
So when the Cowboys, Mickey, are in this five-man front, that is their 4-3 with a defensive end playing the Sam linebacker, Dorrance Armstrong or whoever's standing up in that defense. That's what they're running. Because it looks like it might as well be a 3-4 in the if the opposite side defensive end just stands up instead of gets down in a 3-point stance. It looks like a 3-4 just as easily as a 4-3 because they're using a defensive end by trade as their Sam linebacker in that defense. And those in a Dorrance Armstrong, and in fact remember the third and long where Kyle Allen got out and ran for the first down? Yeah. Okay, we talked about it yesterday. DeMarcus Lawrence is retreating into coverage on that play. Okay, so they don't contain that one side because Lawrence, his responsibility on that play was like a zone blitz, and he was retreating back, covering the middle of the field. And so it was wide open for the quarterback to take off and go 13 yards for a first down on that play.
Well, maybe that's why he had to take off because they had it covered, right? So he had no place to go with the ball.
If it's third and 13, man, let's let D-Law get a sack. Let's send him out. Let's just let him go for the quarterback.
Oh, that's like it's like when they came in with this 3-4 and they had DeMarcus Lawrence dropping in the DeMarcus Ware dropping in the coverage. It's like I don't want DeMarcus Ware backpedaling. I want him going forward every play. I don't want him
same way with Lawrence.
Yes, same thing.
Same way.
Don't
Bill.
Get fancy.
Yeah.
See, we got this thing fixed. In 7 minutes, we fixed it.
Every day we fix it. No one's listening. That's the problem.
All right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Make the most of summer with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. With great offers on a huge selection of Ford SUVs and the largest selection of truck inventory to choose from. Get huge offers across the Ford lineup. So grab the family and head out. Ford's helping you make the most out of summer. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Based on 2019 calendar year total sales. Based on Autodata compact and full-size stock inventory as of June 2020.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys? Jack Black. Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Looking for something to change up your dinner routine? Help support local Frisco businesses by choosing one of the Star District restaurants. For information on delivery, takeout, curbside pickup, and dine-in availability, visit thestardistrict.com. As we continue here on Mick Shots, hey, we could have a world champion crowned in Arlington tonight. Mickey, it's Game 6 of the World Series tonight.
Absolutely, and Kershaw's going, right?
Kershaw went Sunday night.
Oh, that's right. He pitched the last one.
No
that's
Kershaw
right.
tonight.
So is it?
That's right. So the Dodgers are up 3-2. And their Dodgers are up 3-2, and if they win tonight, or they win it, if Tampa Bay wins, they play Game 7 tomorrow, and I'll look for your pitching matchups. I should know that, but you have caught me off guard, Mickey. I prepared for football and not baseball, and I blame myself for bringing up baseball to begin with.
You know what? Two
Although I have
things.
to figure it out.
Was that game 3? That was a hell of exciting.
On Saturday night, the Game 4
the
on
8-7
Saturday.
game.
My
play
God,
at the
that's
plate.
the most exciting baseball game I think I've ever seen.
You will never, ever see a game end like that one did again. I mean, that was unbelievable. And in fact, the fact that the guy that got the hit for Tampa Bay, Brett Phillips, he seldom used. He's like a defensive replacement.
He was a pinch runner. He was a
played in 9 days.
He was a pinch runner.
And he gets the hit. And
crazy.
then the throw,
just crazy, man.
The ball gets booted in center field, and then the throw to the plate, and the hero of the whole playoffs for Tampa Bay, Randy Arozarena, who everything he touches goes right, even when he falls down on the way.
Where did this guy come from? Oh my
God! That's another one. He came out of nowhere. So you had Brett Phillips, who came out of nowhere with the hit, and Arozarena. He comes running around third base for home, and he falls flat on his face, and the throw comes in. He's out by 20 feet. And
what was the catcher doing, man?
He took his eye off the ball.
He thought he had to make the sweeping tag, and he didn't catch the ball.
He didn't know he fell.
No,
he didn't know he fell. Yeah.
You know, okay, what was the problem on that play? We talk about, okay, we can relate this to football, and all right, a lot of the problems that the Cowboys are having on defense, stopping the run, I think there's a lot of missed assignments in there, okay? Reading and reacting. I mean, there's some of that comes into baseball too. Mickey, what needed to happen on that play to keep that run from scoring? It has to do with the pitcher.
Oh, I was going to say that before you asked that.
Backing up home plate.
He was somewhere between the pitcher's mound and the third base line. What was he doing?
He was like between home plate and third base.
Yes.
He wanted to get a closer look. It was exciting. He's like, wow, I got to get closer and see what's going on.
That's right. If he's backing up home plate, they're still playing.
You still got a chance. That's right.
That's right.
You know what they did?
But it once again, it just lets you know, guys, and I grew up, and Bill, you sound the same as me. I'm sure Spags, you've seen it all. We have seen some very unusual happenstance in sports that had nothing to do with talent, okay? Nothing at all to do with talent. It was all about opportunity and being ready for that opportunity to come. We've seen it so many times. You just talked about the young man. He hadn't played in 9 days. He comes up and he gets the biggest hit of his life. Probably the biggest hit, one of the biggest hits in World Series history. Let's just be real about it. So Don't come to me talking about, well, we drafted this guy, he's got all this talent, we got this guy. Man, just show me somebody's got some heart. Show me somebody with the attitude, somebody that believes. We talked about it last year. We talked about the Cowboys, how it's talent, and then Buffalo comes in here, Minnesota comes in here, and they both kick our butts. And I said, you can take a team of just average guys who know what they're doing, who's on the same page, and you can beat a bunch of superstars. We saw it all last year to our team. So to me, when we start talking about all these moves that we make and what does he run in the 40 and how high can he jump after he's had some coffee, I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. Show me a guy that believes he can make the play. We can work with all the other stuff. We get so caught up in all the stats and all of that. Show me a guy that wants to play.
Along those lines, you mentioned the Rams-Bears game last night, and I thought you were going to go to the secondaries for both teams because they got some guys like Everson Walls who can
I was thinking
plays.
It last night. I just didn't bring it up now. Go ahead, Bill.
In both those secondaries. And, of course, Jalen Ramsey had an interception at the end that was a gift.
But they threw it to him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But exactly. But there's one guy in that Bears secondary, Eddie Jackson out of Alabama, who I think he was like a third-round pick, whatever. And he has had more returns for touchdowns not only in his NFL career, but going back to his college career. He probably ran a 4.55 or something like that. I don't know what he ran, but he is just a playmaker in that secondary for the Bears. And so in last night's game, he was right place, right time. There was a sack. He picks up, fumble, scoops, and scores another touchdown. I think he had, and they said that he had two others that were called back this season.
Wow.
I mean, every year he's got returns for touchdowns, and he did it time and again. I think he did it twice against Texas A&M in college.
That's not by happenstance. That's not luck. That's not luck. This guy has the ability to make that play because he has it up here.
That's right.
I don't, like you said, run a 4.5 maybe. I don't care what he runs. Just show me some playmakers. And the attitude in both secondaries was one of hound dogs. I mean, they were hunters.
Exactly.
These guys they can't wait to get off in that wide receiver's face, get off in his grill. To me, that's the attitude I'm talking about. Where does that come from? Does it come from one player? Does it come from who you drafted? Does it come from your DB coach? Where does that come from? I don't see, what's the head coach's name? Bill Nagy? Is that his name? For the Bears? Bill Nagy, I think it is. I don't see him being
Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I don't see him. Yeah, Nagy. I didn't see no great attitude of him, talking trash or being very extroverted. So that attitude comes from somewhere within that organization on both sides of the ball. Those DBs and that entire secondary, including the linebackers, couldn't wait to make a play. They weren't afraid. They couldn't wait to make a play.
See, I think
We
McCarthy.
saw one last Monday night, and then on Sunday night, the Arizona secondary. What does Arizona have in their secondary?
Underestimated the hell out of those guys.
Buda Baker, and this Byron Murphy. Whether it's in pass defense or run defense, he's an instinctive player. Those are the type guys that you have to have on your defense to make plays.
I think McCarthy said it. I believe it was him. I don't think it was Mike Nolan. He said, we got guys on defense that are playing not to make mistakes instead of cutting it loose and just go play. And I think that there may be too much thinking going on back there, and just go out there and play football. There's a guy running at me. Okay, I better cover him. I don't need to be looking underneath there to say, oh, they might throw it to that guy. I'm going to go cheat and try to cover that as this guy goes 52 yards by me. They just got to loosen up and play football.
We saw that funny. One shining moment, Spags.
Right. It was funny.
One shining moment against the Giants.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Jalen Smith personified it against the Giants.
But you got to know, you got to anticipate, and he went back to not anticipating in this game. The funny play in that game was the one on the goal line when the Rams were trying to run the ball in, and it was a rugby scrum, Like everybody was pushing the running back, and the Bears were trying to hold on, and they kept pushing and pushing. And then Akeem Hicks jumps on the pile at the end, and they called a penalty on him for jumping on the pile. I'm going, every offensive lineman jumped on the pile, and that was okay. It's like, what are you calling? What are you doing? Just amazing.
But you just love their defensive attitude. If there's a turnover, and I've been a part of teams like that. If there's a turnover, you've always got that. If you're lucky, you're on that defense. They can't wait to put their helmets back on to get back out on the field.
Yep. And that's the thing when you look at the Cowboys defense, as Mickey you're talking about. I think a lot. I think the question may have been asked of McCarthy about confidence and sort of which comes first.
Right.
I don't remember if it was this week
or last week. It was confidence or energy.
Confidence or performance.
Yeah.
And I think what builds confidence as much as anything is preparation. And when you know if you've studied that opponent and you know all their tendencies, okay, you can cut it loose and you can play. And I think that's what may be missing in this defense, whether it's simplifying their own scheme or just understanding what the offense is trying to do. I mean, that is what has made Sean Lee so great in his career, is the way he studies the opponent, understands their tendencies, and that's why he can so quickly read and react. And it's a lot easier to get off a block when you know where that ball is going in the backfield, and you know which way to go to get off that block by that big offensive lineman, and that's why he's able to do what he does.
See, I wonder, and Bill, this occurred to me. This occurred to me about the preparation part. You know how I don't know, in a normal year when everybody's in the meetings together. Maybe you stay in and I don't know if you're allowed to go in the room and watch tape in a group on your own.
Yes, you are.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what the rules are now with the COVID thing. And I don't know if that's changed things, like guys stay late and watch tape, or you go home and you watch tape on your own.
Hey,
or is everybody
I'm at home
going
right now
home?
and I'm talking to you.
I want to know if that's going on, because I think there's there may be some sort of distraction here about staying safe, going home, make sure everybody's safe instead of doing your job and being prepared.
Those are excuses, Mickey.
Good on you, Mick.
Good on you, Spags.
I love you, Spags.
Asking.
You a good dude.
I'm asking.
You're a good dude, Spags. I love that's why.
hey, you remember that? Was it the? Who was it that did that documentary on the Cowboys a couple of years ago? Whatever. And remember the closing shot that they had at the end of the season on that documentary?
Yeah, with Sean Lee Sean Lee.
And Sean Lee, it was after their last team meeting. And where does Sean Lee go? He doesn't leave the building for the offseason. He goes into the film room, basically, and he is studying what happened in that last game, whatever. I mean, it's something that you do continuously, okay? I mean, you basically have to devote yourself during this season to eliminating all the other distractions, and if you want to be great, you have to devote yourself to doing all you can to study your opponent.
See, here's the weird thing. This team
is what all players that are any good always do. Yep. And if you want to be good, and you see Sean Lee going into that video room, come on, man. As a linebacker, you've got to feel some kind of way about that. You keep on going home, and this guy's sitting here in the film room. Now, you don't have to follow him everywhere he goes, but when you're talking about this season, right now, Spags, you are not sitting next to me right now, but you and I, if we figure it out, we can figure out how to watch videos and talk to each other while you're at home and I'm at home. Everybody else in the world is doing it. So there is no excuse for them not to be on the same page. Every linebacker should be in that room with Sean Lee. And if I'm Sean Lee, I'm going to get tired of people saying, man, you really are dedicated. You go in there by yourself. And I would say, if I'm Sean Lee, why in the hell am I in there by myself?
See,
we got to go to a break.
Okay, but let me make this point, and let me make this quick point.
Okay.
We didn't see this in training camp when they were in a bubble, right? And they started the season off pretty well. And now all of a sudden things fell apart. When you're in the bubble, what else did you have to do? Nothing but football, right? And everybody's together.
That's right.
And now, after the second week of the season, it's almost like, where did that team go? We didn't see that in training camp practices. That defense was rabid in training camp practices. Now, all of a sudden, it's like they don't know what's going on. So something changed.
That is no excuse.
I
put them back in the hotel.
That's right. And my last point on that,
lock the doors.
I'm not going to call out this. I'm not going to call out this former Cowboy by name, but I will go back to when Sean Lee first came into the league, and he had a teammate as well that played the same position. And I know that Lee, we all know what kind of work ethic he's got. And his teammate, also a linebacker. And this was right after Twitter had started up. Twitter came around in 2010 or whatever, and so it was probably 7-8 years ago. And he would tweet about the video games that he's playing. And this is during the season. And this player would be tweeting about, I didn't do this in whatever video game. And I'm saying, put up your video game. Go study the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyway, all right. I'm off my soapbox on that. All right,
there you go.
Back with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
What do you call a group of grown men and women who get together every week, proudly wearing the star, to share a 3-hour-long ritual of cheering, shouting at the TV, and raising their Miller Lite together while yelling, "How about them boys?" You call it Miller Time and Cowboys Nation. Here's to the only beer of the Cowboys celebrating 60 years of greatness. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2020 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole. Back to Mick Shots.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Visit dallascowboys.com/united.
Okay, I got a trivia question for you. When was the last time the Cowboys had an interception?
Jeff Heath?
That would have been my guess. No, didn't they get one? Didn't they get one early in the season?
They got one this year.
Yeah, one this year.
They did get one early in the season. It was in the Rams game. It was Cheeto in the Rams game.
That's right.
I kept thinking that was. Oh, that's right. They didn't have a preseason. I'm sorry, it wasn't preseason. I kept thinking it was preseason.
So they've gone 6 games now without an interception.
How many games?
Well, I mean, just to even say they've got one interception in 6 games, period, is pretty bad.
Has he missed 5
one
now?
in 7 games, yeah.
He's missed 5.
What's that?
Cheeto, has he missed 5 games, 4 games? I'm trying to remember. I don't have my list here with me.
I've got it here.
So
Cheeto
he's not
has
due to
missed 5
return
in a row.
anytime soon?
Yes, he's missed 5, and he's getting close. Is there a chance this week, Mickey?
Yeah, he's supposed to move into more practice week, and they practice this week, and they're going to see how he reacts to it. But I think they're somewhat optimistic. Sean Lee's supposed to move into practice, and we'll see what happens with Joe Looney. Andy Dalton will be in the concussion protocol. I think I can't remember if Jerry or Steven pointed it out that this was the first concussion he's ever had. So I'm sure he's not sure of how this whole thing is going to pan out. So in the meantime, you got to get DiNucci ready to start and Garrett Gilbert ready to be the backup.
DiNucci.
And you don't, and neither one of these guys is really, had that much experience in practice, let alone in games for the Cowboys. So. It's not but again, it's what I said previously. I understand the problems on offense, but this is when you need your defense to step up and help out,
That's right.
not create more problems.
We talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers, or at least I did yesterday, and to me it's just a perfect example. They struggled all year, but to watch their defense do their best to keep Pittsburgh in every game, even though they were down to their third-string quarterback as well. It was really something to see. Of course, they didn't make it, but the effort, they were exhausted after every game trying to salvage a win with a third-string quarterback.
And they wound up 8-8 last year, and so and 8-8 would win this division going away this year.
Mike Thomas, I'm telling you, he could have been close to Coach of the Year last year without making the playoffs. Just the fact that they went 8-8, and they were just without their starting quarterback, and so. Oh, that's the kind of effort that you want to look for. That's the effort that you want to have defensively. Say, you know what, offense, we got you. Don't worry about it. And also, Spags, I wanted to talk, everyone's still very upset about Bostic and the fact that he did not get suspended. Is there anything that can be done in regards to a different decision or coming to another decision on that? Because they said, as it's been said, they said if this was Brady or some superstar quarterback, we'd be looking at an entirely different attitude. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that he should be suspended. I still think he should be suspended.
Do you think if he had more status, do you think it would be
I think so.
Looked at differently?
Yeah, I think so. And the fact that, and I can't remember if I said it here or I said it on my fan segment. In hockey, when you do that to a player and the player's going to miss time or miss a game, they suspend you for about the same amount of time, too. So, hockey justice, right? So, again, I don't see why, he shouldn't be suspended. I heard Troy Aikman talking about it today, and, one of the good things about Troy is he'll say what he believes. He doesn't just pile on with the group. And he made a really good point, and I had said this previously, so that's why I think it was a good point. He said, look at the experience, and Jerry said it today, look at the experience on the offensive line. Those guys, number one, they probably didn't see the hit. And number two, when you see your quarterback just kind of laying there motionless, you go over there to check on him first, right? You're not ready to fight. You're not ready to go and get in fisticuffs with somebody. But think about the offensive line, the guys that were playing. Those guys hardly ever played any football in the National Football League. So, again, you have to take that into account. I don't know if Zeke was on the field at that point.
Small account.
But no, I don't see it. I bet those guys have never been in that situation before. It's not like Tyron Smith was out there or Lael Collins or Zach Martin. And you've got sweat equity with that guy laying on the ground, right? Well, this guy just got here. None of those guys had played with him. And they probably didn't see what happened. Now, I don't know if you look at the replay and see what happened, then you go running over to the bench and go, okay, where's that guy? I'm going to beat him up. So this whole thing, everything gets magnified nationally when one person says something. And I don't know if Mike McCarthy probably wishes he hadn't said what he said, because then everybody piled on that this team doesn't care, it doesn't have any heart. Those young guys out there are just trying to make a way in this profession. They're probably so worried about themselves they didn't even think about that. Plus, they would have lost their whole game. They would have lost their whole game check.
I would give you just a bit of an excuse on that one, Spags. But no, these guys, whether you play in the pros, whether you play in college, or whether you play in high school, it's just an attitude that offensive linemen have. And I get it; they're young, it's an attitude that all offensive linemen on every level has, and that is to protect your quarterback. They didn't have to go over to the bench to find him. He was still on the field. Everyone saw the replay. Somebody on that field offensively saw what happened. Everyone on the Cowboys team didn't miss it, okay, on the field. So, yes, you're right. They can be a little bit cautious about it. But every offensive lineman on every level, I've seen them come to the defense. I don't care what Mike McCarthy said. It didn't matter to me. That's what I saw, and I believed at the moment that I saw it. And yes, you can give them a pass in a way, but I'm not.
Well, good.
All right,
we
Mickey,
don't have to agree. and at least
got
you
any parting Mick shot, Mickey?
Yeah, at least you let me finish my answer, right? I didn't have to tell you to shut up.
Parting Mick shot.
A parting Mick shot. Don't ever tell me to shut up.
That's a good way to finish it. Give us Jerry's line again, as if you're saying it, Mickey.
Shut up and let me answer. And the answer is no.
What was the line about money, though?
The money? Oh, you like that one? Don't piss off an old man with a little money. It'll get you.
Wait. Let us shut up. We're going to shut up, and then you say that, and then that way Chris Beam will have a drop that he can use going forward. All right?
All right,
so
you ready?
I'll say go. 3, 2, 1, go.
There's an old adage, don't piss off an old man with a little money. It'll get you.
So now tell us to shut up.
Now shut up and let me answer.
All right. On that awkward
got
note,
it, Chris. Chris got it.
We wrap up Mick shots, and we start looking at these Philadelphia Eagles at 1:30 tomorrow. Mickey, I'm going to join you in the SWBC Mortgage Studio. If you are there, I will be there tomorrow.
And we'll be socially distanced and safe.
That's exactly right. All right. Everson, we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll see all of you
guys.
Tomorrow.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?